After watching the tape the other day, thought we played hard. Thought we played extremely hard. Left a couple opportunities out on the field offensively. Defensively, everything. Maybe the last drive that Tech had, was very pleased with. Okay. The first drive of the game, I think you have 13 plays to set the tone and score a touchdown. And then kind of some good defense on their part, some mistakes on our offense's part, got us all out of rhythm there. I forget what it was at halftime, pretty close there. We lost our center at halftime. They should be back this week, but so we had to make a change there at halftime. That caused some issues. Our guard actually had to move over. We lost a corner during the game, Aaron Sims, for half the game, so I was proud to see Terrence Triplett step up and make some plays. Taino Perez, one of our safeties, didn't play as well. So there were some guys on the back end who made some good plays. Anytime you hold somebody to 10 points, like I previously stated, that's a good opportunity. I mean, it's a good showing. Gave us a chance to win the game. Very proud of the offense to be able to put two first downs together at the end of the game. Now just have to punt it and make the defense go back out of the field to secure the win. So, and I thought we, handled the lightning delay. I guess you could say we're 50-50. We gave up a score, but then we're able to secure it on offense. So, players had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. They needed it. They deserved it. They'll be back today. We'll probably have to move practice up to this afternoon with the rain coming in tonight, and get ready for a very good Tennessee State team.
Do you expect to see a different, mental approach, a different attitude given the win that you guys got last week?
Well, it would be not very smart for me to say, no, because anytime you win a game, you feel better about yourself. That's just kind of natural. No matter what the statistics say, you finish with one more point than your opponent. It's a natural mental lift, and makes practice a little bit more enjoyable. Doesn't mean you practice any better. Doesn't mean you practice any harder. But certainly the sun shines a little bit brighter. Even on a cloudy day like today.
Tennessee State passed more than 360 yards against Jacksonville. Most of that was out of necessity because they was down so much. Would you rather see them pass the ball a lot against your guys, or would you rather see them try to run the ball against you?
Well, that's kind of a two-part question. Normally you would always rather see a team have to throw the ball against you instead of just run the ball, right? Because run the ball eats up the clock and it can be demoralizing to get out physical like that. On the flip side of that, statistically, our numbers against the pass aren't up to this point haven't been stellar. So so that's kind of a twofold question there. Now, when you drop back and pass, a lot of bad things can happen. You give up sacks, you go incomplete, get you 3 and outs, interceptions, things like that. So if we defend the pass very well, put a little pressure on the quarterback, then you'd like to see anybody throw the ball. But it is, we all would like to hand the ball off 50 times and rush for 350 yards and and control the game. But when you play good defense, it's very difficult to do.
What have you seen from Tennessee State's offense, just from the film you've seen against very good JSU defense?
Well, they've got some playmakers. The wideouts are tall and fast. The senior quarterback. Obviously huge up front. Haven't been as consistent in the run game, obviously, as they'd like to be. But enough to get them to 4 wins and show that they were capable enough in the passing game to throw for over 300 yards last week, and give themselves a chance to win it. Just like anybody else that's they've had turnovers just like we have. I mean, when they don't turn the ball over, they're winning games. But obviously we know that Rod does a great job with their defense, and statistically, they're in the top 5 in the country in every defensive category: total defense, scoring defense, sacks, 27 sacks in 7 games. I mean, very, very impressive, as they always are.
What have you noticed from them just for the last few years? Because they always have had a really highly ranked defense. I mean, is it mostly personnel or is it mostly coach? I mean, what do you see that makes them so good?
I mean, it's a combination. I mean, they've got good players and they're coached well, and they got great size inside to get push on your center and guards, and leaves those edge guys, Bass and number 8 just really jumps out of tape on you. And the guy just relentless and rushes up the field and chases the quarterback around. They're able to play a 4-man front, and they don't blitz a whole lot, and they're able to get 27 sacks. And I bet you they blitz less than 20% of the time, and still able to get those kind of number tackle for losses.
How do you counter that counter pressure with the 27 sacks?
The problem is like I said, it's with 4-man pressure, so they're able to play multiple coverages behind it, whether it be man free or different zone coverages and stuff. So a lot of teams, when they bring pressure to get to the quarterback, they play 0 or cover 1, and you know what's coming. They're able to just line up 4 and keep you guessing. Play corners loose, and they don't have to take a lot of risk back there because of the amount of pressure that they're able to get. And if you watch Jacksonville State against them, Jacksonville wasn't able to run their normal offense. You just got to kind of piece some things together, play off your defense, get some short fields. You just got to put just a team effort. It may not be statistically the most pretty thing in the world. I went back and looked at our 2012 game, and we only had like 378 yards. I think we only rushed for 98 yards when we beat them here. Nothing about the game. We made a couple plays, but you didn't beat yourself with silly mistakes, get way behind the chains, and the defense played well early. I think we jumped on a 17, 18-point lead early. And kind of the same thing SEMO did to them this year. Got up 17-0 and then held on.
You talked last week about how you wanted to kind of almost rein in the offense a little bit and just not make mistakes and let the defense go from there. Do you think that strategy can work in some other conference games?
Yeah, possibly. Going back and looking at our Tennessee State game from last year, my goodness, I think penalty, probably 100 yards in penalties and 4 or 5 turnovers, maybe not that many, maybe it was 30 or so, but you didn't give yourself a chance against them last year. Was it 28-12 or 14 or whatever the loss was? In 2012, even going back and look, we turned, wasn't as clean a game as it needed to be. But yeah, I mean, first of all, anybody has got to not beat yourself first, give yourself a chance. I mean, it's in the game of football with turnovers and penalties. I mean, give yourself a chance to beat the rules of the game first, and then have an opportunity to beat your opponent. We somewhat did that last week. I think we had against Tech, we had 1 turnover, and the yardage on the penalties was not very high. So it gave us a chance to be moderately conservative and try to control the clock and control the tempo of the game.
I mean, are you guys comfortable doing that kind of going forward?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, there's some teams that you watch on tape and you say, we're going to have to score 28 points. We're going to have to score 35 points. There's several teams throughout our schedule that are got really good offenses. So, you're not going to be able to. You're going to have to give yourself some grass and give yourself some the guys that can do some things with the ball, some space to make a few plays. So it's a game by game thing, like you said, and how good is their defense playing as well.
As far as defense, Sims and Taino, do you know what their status is?
Should have them both back. Should have them both back this week.
Coach, you mentioned SEMO. I know it's not so much for this week, but they obviously had a pretty strong year in Eastern Kentucky. So those things, obviously, I know there's a little bit of pressure and just wanting to win and lose each week. But do you ever sense any, pressure or anything about just kind of, making sure that UTM's name in the conference pecking order is still kind of where it's been the last several years? I mean, do you think about that at all?
Well, I think you always do. I mean, we all want to be in the top, the top dog in the conference every year. I've stated this before. I think our ascending from the bottom of the conference up into the top echelon of the conference has forced other schools to you know, and to improve their football program. I mean, you know, that's, you know, me being the longest tenured coach in this league, I think it's, you know, given us a lot of stability here. But anytime you make, you know, kind of when you make coaching changes other places or improve facilities, you know, I'd like to think that we were one of the teams that played a part in that in the league. You know, it's documented. We've got the smallest stadium, and you know, we all struggle budget-wise. But you know, I think UT Martin, being as consistent as we've been up to this point, has forced some other schools to you know, strive for that as well. And so you know, so that's you know, that's our goal every year, is to be, you know, be in the top 1, 2, 3, and then have a chance to, you know, see that playoff picture on Sunday. That hasn't changed, and that won't change no matter what the situation is.
Now going into this past year, you know, you guys were, I think, maybe second over several years in this overall conference wins. I mean, how confident are you going forward that, you know, here in the next 2-3 years, you guys will still be at that juncture?
Right. You know, the other programs in the league are putting a lot of pressure on us. I mean, let's face it, Austin Peay's doing a great job building a new stadium. You know, everybody is pushing for more and more and more. I think everybody has a responsibility. I think the head coach here at UT Martin has a responsibility. I think, Billy will tell you, the administration has a responsibility. The players certainly have a responsibility. We all have a responsibility. You know, continue to push our program to, you know, to be the best that we can be.